That is You Don't Know Me is by Ray Charles from his 62 record, Modern Sounds in Country and Western Music. It is also number 105. 105 out of 500 on the 500. What's up, you bad mamma jammas? Fleece Army, I am your general, I guess. I am your president. No, I'm your president. I am Josh Adam Meyers. I'm taking you through Rolling Stone Magazine's list of the 500 greatest albums. I just woke up. We forgot to do this earlier, so we got to fucking get this episode out because it's a fucking goodie. Let's get rid of the mishbagosh. Are you watching the podcast? Because we got YouTube clips every Thursday. Go to www.youtube.com/the500podcast. Sign up. Tell everybody. We're getting down to the final 100, ladies and gentlemen. We really are trying to launch this thing big. So make it count. Help us get the word out. We got 5 more weeks to start this journey into the final 100. Dude, we need your help. If you listen to the show, subscribe to the Patreon. Long straw, everybody. Josh needs longy strawsies. And also, if you give us $25 a month, Jeremiah Tittle, where I don't know where the fuck he is in the world. I don't even know if he's a part of the show anymore. I get random emails saying that we need your help. Please, please help us. I think he's kidnapped somewhere, but for $25, he gets you merch. Patreon.com/the500podcast. All right. I got some gigs coming up. We'll make this quick. The 11th through the 13th, I'll be in Chandler, Arizona. Actually, it might be the 12th through the 13th. Let's check the website. Mic drop, Chandler, Arizona. And the 18th through the 20th, I will be at the Sacramento Punchline. It's my first time headlining that. I'm so excited. And then June 23rd, Comedy Store, Shimmy Shimmy Ya. There might be a jam that week. I'm working it out. Josh Adam Meyers on all social media and joshadammeyers.com, or go to punchup.live/Josh Adam Meyers. All right. What are we talking about today, party people? We're talking about a dude named Ray Charles who made a record that literally, it was like Rage Against the Machine's first record. He took soul and he took country. He took songs by Hank Williams, Don Gibson, Eddie Arnold, and other country records and squadoodled it with some gospel, some blues, some jazz, big band arrangements, strings, pure Ray Charles, all the swag. The dude basically changed everything in music with one fell swoop. That's pretty badass, right? What do you think? Well, our guest today is badass as well, and we are slowly chipping away at the members of the state. But this dude is probably one of the hardest gets because we've been skadoodling to try to find him. I'm talking in weird language. I don't even know why. But either way, from the state, from Party Down, from Wet Hot American Summer, from Veronica Mars, from Burning Love, this dude, he's also got a new movie coming out. Do we have it up here? Oh, yes, we do. Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass is going to be out in theaters July 10th. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Ken Marino. We did it. Emily did it. We did it. This is a great episode. I was a couple minutes late because I've been so exhausted that I have been sleeping. I'm being sued by this woman for $5 million for scratching her car. We'll talk about it in another episode. So I'm not sleeping well. I'm not paying 1 cent. I'm going to tell you that right now, party people. I am not paying 1 flippin' cent. I'm going to borrow money from Ken Marino. Rate, review, and most importantly, subscribe to the 500. Listen free on all platforms or anywhere you get your pods. Follow me at Josh Adam Meyers on all socials. Follow the podcast at the 500 Podcast. Email the podcast at 500podcast@gmail.com. Follow the Facebook group run by Crazy Evan. I think he's still alive. And for all things 500, go to the website, the500podcast.com. All right, y'all. Nothing left to say, but here we go. That's not a good Ray Charles. At 105, modern sounds in country and western music. That's the way of the life of a comic, a touring comedian / rock star. I'm talking to another one. You, my
Murder,
friend.
She Wrote is like eating potato chips. You just can't watch one.
Dude, you get started with a little bit of Murder, She Wrote.
What is she doing next? What is she going to solve next?
It's the Law and Order for octogenarians, even though Law and Order is already for octogenarians. Now, how are you, dude? This has been this has been not just for me, but for our booker, Emily, man. We've been slowly chipping away and getting every single person from the state.
Oh, right on.
And we are, you were collecting you guys like Pokemon right now. We've gotten
That's
you,
a
we've
lot of
gotten
us.
Carrie, we've gotten Michael. I just actually ran into
Which Michael?
Ian Black. I've got Showalter. I met at the airport and I gave him the pitch. Felt like he was into it, but I laid off. It was a dude, Ken, you would have been like, oh yeah, dude, that's how you do it. That's how you do the in public pitch. You just go,
not too much, not too little. You know what I mean? Just the right amount.
You seem like you're busy, but listen, I'll just put it in your head. You go over there. I'll be at the Delta Sky Lounge if anything changes. Okay.
And the Goldilocks baby bear of perfect pitches.
Perfect.
That if I got it right. If that is the bear the one that just gets it right?
I think so. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What are we talking about? The TV series on XX or the Goldilocks? The Aesop's
Not the Goldilocks,
Fable.
the bear, right? The Goldilocks and no, Goldilocks gets it right. She tries the big share and then the little one, then she gets the perfect one that's just right. I fucked it up.
No, you didn't. But listen, no, we're slowly getting everybody.
I was up late last night. There was a robbery that I was stopping. Actually, I was involved in a robbery. This guy tried to stop it. It was fucked up.
It was you. Oh my God. Did you find
How you doing? Nice to see you again.
Did you find my AirPods?
I did.
I feel like I lost the left one. Did you find the AirPod anywhere? Because
I stepped on it on my way out.
Oh God damn it!
I was in a rush. I would have picked it up otherwise.
Gives me an excuse to buy the new generation of them because they suck. They got a camera on them now. We're always looking for a new reason.
That's why I robbed that bank.
Why, dude? Please. I mean, also, by the way, like, you know, David, I've been begging him, and now I'll be begging you to. I want to sing "I Go to Extremes" by Billy Joel with Mad Dad Jam Band. Dude, I can sing, bro.
I know. I looked you up.
Yes, but dude, Billy Joel, you're a Long Island guy. Yeah. That's why I'm shocked that you're here for Ray Charles, because he's not Long Island at all.
Yeah, but Ray Charles is a gigantic influence on Billy Joel.
All right, that was a perfect. You made that right? Of course.
And Ray Charles and Billy Joel sang a duet together called "Baby Grand." That is one of, you know, my favorite obscure Billy Joel songs that a lot of people don't know, but then Billy Joel fans are all like, yeah, I know that song.
Everybody, dude, it's on the Greatest Hits Volume 9 or whatever. It's on the last one with, you know, As It's So It Goes. Dude, this is what sucks is that, like, I don't think he's touring anymore. And I bet we're going to be, after this, because we both were involved in that robbery, we're going to have such a great podcast. We're going to become great friends. And then we'll be like, we should have gone we should go see Billy Joel together. And it's who knows? Who knows if he'll tour again? But
I saw him at what they said was his last MSG show. And then they extended it again.
I moved to New York in May of 21, and in the time from then until his last show, like the last final one at the Residency, I saw him 14 times.
Oh my God.
11 of them on mushrooms. Great. I can't recommend it enough. You can't have a bad trip while Uptown Girl is playing. I mean, you cannot. Like, I dare you to freak out. You know what I mean? Maybe when he does, like, you know, the Saigon song, because you start thinking about PTSD.
Sure.
But everything else, all for Lena, you know, you could just feel it. And it was, honest to God, like some of the greatest concert experiences of my life. And I mean, I'm from Maryland, so I can imagine what that's like growing up in Long Island and just being. Were you always drawn, like, you know, before we get it, I love that we're starting with Billy, because I feel like that is a good segue to get into Ray Charles, is, you know, there is a thing that when it comes to, like, piano musicians, I'm not saying they're lame, but as rock stars, they're stuck behind the piano. So they have to kind of carry so much emotion in just what they're doing. And someone like Elton John, someone like Billy Joel, you know, and then someone, of course, like Ray Charles, they project. So they're not moving energetically, they're still filling the room. But to other people, and I would say that to, like, you know, because I know my friends, like, and I was like, no, I like Billy Joel. It's like, well, we like Nirvana and this, that. And I'm like, no, but Billy Joel rules. I still love that shit, but this shit rules too. Some people don't get it. Is loving Billy Joel and being into that just like, were you kind of engraved in that as growing up in the Long Island area?
I mean, I didn't realize it at the time, but you know, as I got older, I was like, oh, if you're from Long Island, just like if you're from New Jersey, you like Bruce Springsteen.
Of course.
you like, if you're from Long Island, you like Billy Joel. But the extra, wonderful thing about both of those artists is they're both fucking awesome.
Amazing.
And so, and their music just, remains, after decades and decades of them being around, their music, holds up. And, some people, I understand, I'm like this. I can't hear myself. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
You sound great to me. What are you working with? You got the AirPods?
I don't know. I got these. What are these?
Oh,
I get the Beats.
You know what, dude? Here's the thing, Ken. I'm gonna tell you the secret to any kind of podcasting moving forward. Do you use in-ears while you guys are rocking on stage? You guys use the...
I don't. A lot of the musicians do, and they keep telling me to use in-ears, and I'm like, that seems like a lot of work.
No, bro. Let me tell you something. As one singer, you have a great voice, by the way. Let me give you. I want to give you your flowers, man. I really think what you and David are doing is amazing. Because it's also like the comedians. Not to get too off topic, but it's like, I noticed at a young age in my comedy career, all comics want to be rock stars and all rock stars want to be comics. That world of just, dude, Billy's hilarious. Billy Joel has a tight 20-minute set that he does in between each song that once you see him again and again, you're like, oh, this is the joke. He makes the joke after he does the song about Christy Brinkley. He does the joke about this. He does. And so there is that thing. And it's like, for what you and David have done of creating this thing with you guys and being able to tour on it and getting people involved that you love, doing the songs that we grew up on, the songs of our past, it's amazing. And so with that, I want to say, dude, you have such a good voice. You're doing these shows. If you don't hear yourself properly, man, you're going to fuck your voice up. So get those.
I already have. Man. I've already fucked my voice up. And I also have, what do you call it?
Tinnitus?
Tinnitus? Yeah, it's not great. But, it feels great when you're doing it.
Oh, yeah. When you're going for that note.
Yeah, it feels real good.
It's into those streets. And everybody's like, well, he hit it. Oh, my God. And then afterwards, you're like, hey, God, I can't. You got your little
We're actually doing a East Coast tour in the end of July, and we're doing it's centered around the Wet Hot American 25th anniversary of that coming out, and then in 2 weeks we're doing here in Los Angeles. We're doing at the Lodge Room. We're doing the regular name of our band is the Middle Aged Dad Jam Band, but in 2 weeks we're doing the Middle Aged Dad Joel Band, tribute to Billy Joel, and we're doing a night of Billy Joel.
What we did that at Moon Tower Comedy Festival once. We did an all night of Billy Joel songs because there's a million I could do, but I go to extremes is what I do. I've been doing that for fucking years. That's such a good Billy Joel song. Like no one realizes, like, dude, it's a really
good Billy Joel song. But I will say this, it's not in our set because every song in our set is a song from before 1981.
Ooh.
And then except for his newest song, which is Turn the Lights Back On, which we do.
You do that? Oh wow! You really go into the newer stuff. How do people respond to that one?
No, that's the only new one we do. Everything else is from the 70s.
I don't think that's the only new one he has in like 30 years.
Yeah, but it's great.
We're doing a new Billy Joel. You mean the one song? Yep,
the one song.
The one. When I did Madison Square Garden with Bill Burr, I've told this story on the podcast again. Thank you very much. No, but dude, the reason. All right, thank you. I'll take my flowers. The reason I was so nervous, but I go, man, it's the Garden, and so I had them bring me out to Moving Out, and so I came out and I just go and I just point at the sign, I give it the thing, and then I just say to the audience, like, working too hard, can't give, and they're just like, heart attack, and I was like, I got him, and then I say, I've seen Billy Joel, and I've sat in section 109 and taken mushrooms thanks to Live Nation, and I'm like, what's up, 109, and the whole section's like, and it was so Billy, God bless your soul. You're the reason I had one of the best sets of my life, and I mean, just he's the best, man, and I love that because it's like we have to segue into Ray. It's like I love that you made that connection immediately because Billy and all the rock stars that we love. I mean, a lot of the music comes from Ray Charles. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy how important this guy is. I myself, I mean, always liked him, always kind of knew who he was, but when you're talking about him, it's like he's such an interesting character, especially this record that we're doing. In 1962, it's like Ray Charles looked at country music, a genre largely marketed to white audience, and said, what if I walked into this cookout, stole all the hot dogs, and somehow everybody thanked me for it? That's what this record is. It's one of the greatest, I think, genre crime sprees ever committed. He took Hank Williams, Don Gibson, Eddie Arnold, and other country legends, filtered them through gospel, blues, jazz, soul, big band arrangements, string sections, and pure Ray Charles swagger, and accidentally changed music forever. And I'm going to spin it to you guys to bring you in, because this is my intro. I forgot to do my normal intro at the beginning, but this is like the same energy that you guys did with The State. It's sketch comedy. While everybody else was following the rules, a bunch of weird geniuses walked in and said, what if we did this completely different? And the result is for both of you, for him, he sold millions of records and crossed racial barriers during the civil rights era. Actually, that's what The State did too. The state crossed racial barriers and during the civil rights era, and pissed off traditionalists.
And Ray Charles stole that from us,
from you guys. But I'm serious, man. Without this record, I don't know if Willie Nelson does his country record. I mean, this is like a groundbreaking album. You're getting someone like Elvis Costello. Somehow it's like he made country fans and R&B fans buy the same record, which in the time that this came out is something completely different. And
it's mind blowing, right? To think
really
about,
is.
like, yeah, for me, like it was. I wasn't, being from Long Island, heavily into country music. I heard a little Hank Williams at my house, and I heard my parents had Last of the Brooklyn Cowboys. You know what I'm talking about. Oh my God.
Last of the Brooklyn Cowboys by, let me look it. I can look it up.
It's not Hank. Oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. But anyway, we had Last of the Brooklyn Cowboys, and we listened to that. It was like country kind of stuff, but we didn't listen to country music too much in our house. And then I don't know how I stumbled upon this Ray Charles album, but I did like Ray Charles already. I was into him, and then I got this, and I was like, oh my God, country music is fantastic.
Really
and then I kind of explored country music, and I found some country music that I really kind of connected to, and some that wasn't my taste. But without Ray Charles, I wouldn't have been drawn to go, hey, there's some really kind of incredible, country music that I had not introduced myself to, being a boy, kid from Long Island.
I know, it's like you look at country music from the areas that we grew up. I'm from Maryland, right outside of Washington, D.C., Montgomery County. And if you went, what I loved about the area that we grew up in, and maybe like this in here, I mean, if you go like northern New York State, but there was the metropolitan DC area, and then you go about 20 miles outside of that, you start, not now, but it used to be the middle of nowhere, and there'd be a place like Frederick, Maryland, where I knew there were more of, I guess you'd call it like the country Western, music fans, real, like the middle class people. They're the farming land out there, and so I looked at country as a music. I was like, oh man, this is lame, dude. Like I always, but also I'm 46. So when I was growing up in my formative years, it was probably the lamest version of country music, which was like, well, there's a hunky dunky dookie and a bootaloo, right. Like, like the Garth Brooks and what's funny now is that, like the Travis Tritts and the Randy Travises, like those, which I'm not calling them lame, but when you're a younger kid, you don't look at it as the cool shit and know that someone like Hank Williams, Merle Haggard, Johnny Cash, those guys back in the outlaw days were writing songs that lyrically were as hardcore as anything that the Sex Pistols did or NWA did. Like they were just doing their version of 80s hip hop. you know, of like this real, like what it's like growing up poor, what it's like being robbed, what it's, you know, what it's like losing an AirPod, being robbed and having somebody step
going
on
to
it.
prison, going, you know, like
everything.
robbing a store.
But that's the thing, is that it was that you were just, because we didn't have the access to the history books like we do now, where everything is at our fingertips. And that's why, you know, doing this podcast, I remember, oh man, Merle Haggard. I was like, I've heard of him. And the next thing you know, you're like, oh my God, this rules. The artist you were talking about was Arlo Guthrie.
Oh, Arlo Guthrie. Guthrie.
And but Loretta Lynn for me was the one that really turned me. I was like listening to Coal Miner's Daughter. I mean, I think I wept the like a couple times after listening to it, because I really felt the pain of not pain. There was a melancholy in her music, but also there was like a love of it, of being like, hey man, we didn't give a shit growing up poor. This is what it was like, and we made the best of it. And it was a beautiful song. And I think the more you dig into that music, the more that you really realize like of how important it is. And that's what's so cool about Ray, you know, doing that, because Ray was like, he knew, he recognized immediately how important this music was. You know, and it's like I said, this is a project that at the time it should not have worked. It should not have worked. Much like Wet Hot American Summer, dude, like any David Wain project, it's like, it shouldn't have worked. Nobody thought it would work. And now people teach classes about why it works.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm no music scholar, so I don't know exactly why it works.
Sure.
But I will say that for me, when I heard it, it was one of those albums that I would just be like, I just kept putting it on. Mm-hmm. It was just so easy to listen to and so fun to listen to. And it had like, you know, it was the background vocals and like the sad songs and then the upbeat songs, and like everything was like, you know, trying to think of some of the songs that like I would drive around. It was a driving around, you know, album. Like you'd listen to it driving around, dude. You know, and it was just an incredible album to listen to over and over and over again. And I still listen to it. Like, you know, anytime a song comes up, I'm like, oh, that, of course, you know, there it is.
I'm gonna piggyback on what you just said. 100%. This is a record that will make its way into the rest of my life. I'm gonna enjoy this forever. I've been digging into it because it's a longie. It's, you know, let's see how long this actual album is. It's really not, only 40 minutes. Oh, well, the version I had, I guess, was a little bit longer, but
I think there was a follow-up to it.
Yeah. Well, whatever the one that I had, that was the double album on Spotify, which basically has all of it. And if there's a few tracks, obviously there's a few tracks added, but even that hour and 15 that I was digging into was perfect. It was a perfect driving record. I was in Texas. I was in Plano, Texas. So imagine driving from DFW, Dallas Fort Worth Airport, out to it. Actually, not even Plano, Tyler, Texas, 2 hours away. So you're really driving through the middle of nowhere, you know, and you're hearing that.
Born to lose.
Oh, yeah. I loved it. And the cool stuff about this record, before we start digging into a lot of it, is this is released March 1962. This is Ray's first number one record. I'm sorry. This includes the biggest hit of his career, I Can't Stop Loving You, which is shocking because I thought it would have been, you give your hand to me and then you say hello. Dude, that's I could just see Bill Murray dancing in Punxsutawney to this, you know, with the snow, and I'm like, oh man,
you don't know me.
Yeah, dude. This helped break down racial barriers in popular music, proved country songs could become soul songs without losing their emotional power, expanded country music beyond traditional listeners, and is cited as one of the greatest crossover records ever made. And why was it so radical? Because I don't know if you know this, back in 1962, a lot of shit was different than it is now, Ken. Country music.
And yet, it's not different at all.
It's really not.
Beyonce comes out with a country album, everybody loses their fucking mind.
Dude. I'm not gonna lie, man. That was one of I love that record. I've gotten into Beyonce. I used to fight it.
Great.
But dude, I'm so into female singers now. The older I get, I mean, Rosalia, Bjork, Ray, that soul singer, dude. If you're not into Ray, the soul singer from England,
I love Ray. And was that her? Didn't she do the Married song? Is that the one that just came out? That's an incredible
bro.
That's like one of the greatest songs I've heard in a long time.
Bro, I have traveled to see her. I did a festival with her in Munich, and I've been talking about her on this podcast for months. I'm a huge Amy Winehouse fan. I think Amy is one of the greatest singers of my generation. Maybe not everybody agrees with me, but I just think what she would have done in music would have been incredible if she didn't have so many demons. And so Ray is this beautiful, beautiful singer that if you know her story, independent artist, much like Ray Charles, believed in herself when nobody else would, doubled down, and when a record label wouldn't give her record or release it for 2.5 years, and she begged and begged, she got it back and took it to another label. They didn't change a thing, didn't even sign her, just said we'll distribute it. And then that record went on to win more awards at the Brit Awards that year than any other artist has ever won. And she's all independent, and you can't not like her. You cannot like her. So I say to everybody, if you're not into her, that husband song is just so much fun. The rest of her music.
Why don't we get married? What is it? Married? It's
where the hell is my husband?
Yeah, right.
Oh, dude,
unbelievable! It's so layered. It has so many things going on in it, and just doesn't. And it's the perfect length. It's got like every time you're like, all right, where's this going? It goes somewhere like cool and original, and it's just I love it so much.
It's amazing, but also that all, that music too, and everything that we've been talking about, it all kind of goes back once again to him. It's genre defining. It's merging of what now what it would be hip hop and soul and scat. It's like it's got Ella, it's got Al Green, it's got everything, and it's incredible. And so I think even when we were talking about Beyonce, it was like the faces of people when she won the award for best country album. I mean, the things that people said, you're like, dude, music doesn't have to be by race. It doesn't have to be that way. That's what's so great. Because, dude, I don't know, you're a little bit older than me, not much, but like, dude, I was a heavy metal fan growing up. And then one day I just wanted, I had my, wanted to be, I get into basketball, and hip hop was getting big, and I was hanging out with all the black guys. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm only listening to hip hop now. And I stopped listening to rock because I was now a hip hop guy. And it wasn't until high school that I kind of merged it back with grunge music, where I was like, no, it's you can like both. America is stuck in 6th, 7th grade, Josh, where it's you don't, I
can only listen to this. This is my music.
If the white guy does it, it's okay. That's the truth, is that if Eminem wants to do hip hop, that's fine. But if the black guy or the other race wants to do a white type music, then then the people get upset about it, because not totally, people. But you know what I'm saying? Yes, not everybody.
certain people.
I just had a blanket. Yeah. Well, I don't know, man.
Some people get very upset about it.
Some people get very upset about it. No, we're buying the record. I've got the merch. I got the cowboy garter. I'm in the fan club. No, but that's the thing is, dude, country music, and especially in 62, it's viewed as white music. R&B is, of course, marketed as black. Radio stations are heavily formatted in a segregated way, and the civil rights movement is intensifying. But Ray, what's so genius, said good songs are good songs, and then he forced America to agree with it, which is funny. Yeah. He records this record in New York and LA, the two most non-country places in America, probably. Half the album, which I love, uses the lush strings and the choirs that he has. And then half the other record is swinging jazz and big band arrangements. And because of his contract, he had enough freedom to do anything that he wanted. And back to Ray, I think that's kind of why I love her so much, because she has full control of her career, just the way that Ray did with his. I mean, do you ever feel like, I mean, Ken, because you've been in the business and you've done so many things, do you you realize how lucky you guys are to have made some of the things that you made, and how hard you probably had to fight, knowing you're in a business that does not want to give people chances, and what's funny is when they do, they get a movie like Backrooms that cost $10 million and made $100 million in the first weekend. You know what I mean? It's like
are you talking about Obsession?
Oh, no, Obsession's the other one. All these little movies, when you bet on those, when you bet on somebody with ideas and artists, I know, because it doesn't work every time, but when you do, that's when you get great stuff. I mean, I must have been, did you even think that when you guys got the money for that, with the pilot episode of The State, or did you get a first season order right away?
No.
Did you even we're never getting a second one, so we might as well fucking just have as much fun as ever. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's what we did. We didn't think about the future. We just were in the moment of just trying to make each other laugh and create the best show we could, because that was always our mentality when we were in college doing it. But like, we didn't, the thing about, I think the best, some of my favorite things, musically or, certainly comedically, that come out tend to be sort of some stuff that's under the radar from a singular voice or a singular group of people. We were like an 11-headed monster, but we all had the same sort of, want and goal to, in terms of our approach to comedy. And so, but with that comes absolutely no money. You don't get a lot of money to do it. You're lucky if it happens. And then if people see it, it becomes sort of maybe a culty thing. And then if you're really lucky, then more people see it, but usually not. And that was the case with the state. It's just, we just happened to stick around long enough for, more people to kind of see it as the years and years and years went by. But still a lot of, you ask most people, they don't know what the state is.
But maybe not now, but at the time when we were, dude, it was the show. It was like the coolest show.
I don't remember that. I don't remember it being that. And I was
drugs,
on the show.
Too many drugs. You were on a lot of drugs.
No, well, I mean, look, we were all young and stupid, but we were always the group that was on the outside looking in, and we felt we were at MTV. We were never like, and we sort of wanted to be that. Sure. Like we wanted to, right? That was sort of the vibe that we wanted. But it also, for me, from my perspective, I was like, well, this sucks, because like we're working for MTV, and at the time, MTV, we grew up with MTV, and it was like, I can't believe we're here. But we also I always felt like we were not part of MTV, and I never knew how many people were watching the show, if people were watching the show. Never got like ratings really, or we did, but like I didn't understand what they meant. And they were so small anyway, because it was MTV. So, I didn't know how people felt about the state. It wasn't until like we just did a tour last year. The state did a tour of like a bunch of places, and we did like a bunch of old sketches and a couple of new ones, and we met people who. And we sold out to big crowds.
Oh, you're at Moon Tower, weren't you? I'm pretty sure like you guys, or you were at a festival that we were doing at the same time. And I think I just had a show it was a hard ticket to get, like, or I even I reached out to Carrie and I was like, hey, Carrie, you remember me? And she goes, no, I don't. And I was like, okay, never mind. I was like, don't worry about it.
I don't know what Moon Tower is. I don't remember anything really.
Austin, Texas.
Possibly.
Paramount Theater. I feel like you guys would have been at like the Paramount or it would. Don't worry, that doesn't make a difference. I'm nitpicking.
I don't remember. But
either way, I remember the tour and yeah, dude, that rules.
But no, we just did one last year, and what was nice about it is a lot of the fans would come up and they were like, this is when I really sort of realized that we had an effect on some people, and like some people would come up and they would say, you helped me through high school, and you helped me get through, some hard times. And like, that meant a lot to me to hear that. And to know that like we were doing something where people were watching it and affected by it in a positive way. And, and so that was exciting to experience, this last year.
Well, I love that.
But I never understood where we fit in. I still have a hard time figuring.
Well, I think it's to kind of bring it to the record is that Ray didn't really invent country music, right? Or soul music. He just combined them in a way that nobody had before. And I think the state, from watching all the episodes, and then of course seeing all the comedy that kind of came after that, because it was always like you guys and Mr. Show with Bob and David were the two really influential shows. And then of course, like having gotten Comedy Central, Kids in the Hall, and then but I mean, because I was right at that age, and then the best years of Saturday Night Live, in my opinion, the ones with like Dana Carvey, Mike Myers, and I mean, you guys were just really at that folding of where sketch comedy was probably at its coolest, but it was so weird on every end. I mean, it's like they would never do shit like that now.
You mean stuff that we were doing, or just
everybody.
in general?
Well, you guys were, I would say you guys were the top of the, like, you guys were this record. You guys were like, where people were like, what? This and country and soul. Like,
right.
Everybody else was like offshoots, you know, like fucking, like, you know, Saturday Night Live, way more popular. Like, hit the road, Jack. Don't more of that. You guys are the deeper cuts. Did it feel revolutionary while you were doing it, or did it just feel like idiots making friendly idiots making each other laugh?
It didn't feel revolutionary. We just the goal was always to stay true to what we thought were funny and use the litmus test of everybody else in the group to see if it was funny, and then and then hope that there were more like-minded people like us that were out there who would appreciate it. But we just kept it kind of within the group, and we're like, this is what we like. This is why we think this is funny, and this is why we feel like it's different and original from the stuff that has inspired us or that we want to do. And so every you know, and we didn't always hit it out of the park, you know, but when we did get a good one, we knew it was a good one. You know, we're like, oh, that's a good one, and that's like our thing, as opposed to sort of redundant from other stuff, and you know, which we also, you know, of course, probably did.
Yeah, but we brought up the other kind of comedy that was happening in the world. You know, when this record came out musically, you know, look, this is what, 62, dude. The Beatles haven't broken yet. The biggest stars are Elvis.
Oh, wow, that's right.
You know, Patsy Cline, Johnny Cash, Sam Cooke. We just did his greatest hits. Roy Orbison, and like I said, most artists pretty much stayed in one lane. Also, dude, think about what's going on in the world when this record comes out. Like, this is the time that my dad used to say. My dad died, and he was born in 1940. He died, goddamn, like when he was 69. So what? 2010-ish. Yeah. And I remember him talking about the early 60s and stuff and saying, like, man, it felt like America. I mean, probably the closest now is how we felt to then, where it was like everything, how crazy everything was, where it's like JFK was president, Cuban Missile Crisis is going on, civil rights. James Meredith was integrating, in the University of Mississippi. Segregation still remained common in the South. Ray simultaneously refusing to play segregated venues and making music that crossed racial lines. Just, I mean, it really is like, if you've seen the movie, I'm assuming, right? Like, yeah. I remember. I mean,
I haven't seen it in a while, but
neither have I. And I really wish I would have rewatched it before this, because I just remember that part, I think, where he does this record and everybody's expecting to dance, and he like has them like, he has the lights on, he starts playing one of the slower ballads, and the crowd's like, what the fuck is this shit? And then he like, he starts going like, or the producer or somebody goes, nah, turn the lights down and put a spotlight on him. And they do it. And then they all zone into him. I mean, this is a risky record to make. And I mean, I can see where at this point in his career, why he would want to go there. You know, he's already combined gospel and R&B, which basically became soul, like the whole "I Got a Woman," what I'd say, hallelujah, I love her so,
which our band did a video of on, and you can go look at it on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did "Hallelujah, I Love You." That's one of the ones I picked early on that we did on all our live shows, because I love that song so much.
If you were making your perfect set list, the Ken Marino, I can sing the shit out of this stuff. What's your Mount Rushmore? What are your 5 songs?
You know, I don't know if there. I could say the artist that I kind of I like singing. You know, I like singing Ray Charles a lot. I like singing Billy Joel a lot. I like singing Elton John a lot. I like singing Etta James a lot.
Really?
I like singing Bobby Darin a lot, and I like singing. There's a musician in from New Orleans, Walter Wolfman Washington, who I like a lot. And so I try to. Our band usually does covers from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, but I try to squeeze some songs from, like, you know, Ray Charles in there, and I was pushing for an a James song at one point. It didn't get in, but those are the songs that I feel comfortable singing. I think I sound okay singing them too.
You sound great. I watched the clips, dude. You sound great. I'm not just giving you your kudos to give you the kudos because we're here together and I was 5 minutes late. You got a great voice, dude. And that's the thing, is that a lot of people, not comics, but audiences are always, you get that? Because I've gotten that where people are like, because I sing in my act and then people are like, well, you really can sing. And you're like, yeah, dude, I'm not just doing it. It's who I am. It's like, it's a part of it. It's like, you know, and I know you've probably been asked this question a million times. So I want to see if I can frame this in a way that it doesn't come off like every other person has probably asked you and David that, or because the way I've been asked about the goddamn comedy jam and why I started it. I'm assuming, wait, let me take this. I don't know. Were you in bands growing up? Like, were you in bands when you were younger? You weren't.
No.
So singing in public, was only just started with David?
David was in bands growing up.
He's a drummer.
He was a drummer and he was in bands. You know, I think he was in an REM cover band in high school and did different things. I did plays. I was into acting at a very young age, and I did musicals and stuff like that. So that's how I sort of got into singing in front of people, which I, kind of scratched that itch of, wanting to sing. And then I got very deep when I met my wife. She was what do you call it? A KJ, a karaoke. Like she was a host of a
karaoke jockey.
Karaoke jockey, right? And she would like sing between other people coming up and singing. And she's like, come to the thing. And then I started doing karaoke with her. And then we got so into it, or I got so into it because of her. When we got married, our friends pulled together a bunch of money and got us a really, really good karaoke machine. And back then, it was harder to get a karaoke machine with just thousands and thousands of songs. And then I built a soundproof room in our home so we can sing karaoke and have people over at our house, because we had, when we had kids, we couldn't really leave the house. So we brought the baby monitor into the karaoke room, and then we would sing in the karaoke room. And if you saw the little light going like that, like the baby was crying, so one of us would leave and then the other person would hang out with the 6 people that we invited over to sing karaoke, who were hanging out in this room that was not ventilated correctly and just started smelling like just ass. But we were all having a good time, and we would sing late into the evening. And we called that room. It was a 6x6 room, and I built like a wood bench, and it was 6x6. It fit 8 comfortably. So we called it 9 tight. And so then like Joe Truglio got into karaoke too, right? So he would call me from time to time and be like, "Hey man, can I come over and sing it 9 tight tonight?" Yeah. And we would have people come over all the time and sing it 9 tight.
Because it's you, really, man. You're good energy and you're fun. So it's like, I'm serious, dude. If you're good hangs, man, everybody, it's music. That's what I'm saying is what you guys have created. And I'll say this about the jam, my show too. It's like you're creating a place where these people are not singers, they're not musicians, and because you are having so much fun, you and David and the rest of the band, you set it up for them to enjoy themselves. It's because you're having fun, you commit, and then they go, well, if they're doing that, then I can do that. And they're letting the audience know this is cool, so they can ease in. Dude, I'm the reason the Sklar brothers can do fucking anything. The Sklars were doing butt before I got them. They were doing the Smiths, and it was horrible. They were doing, they had like flowers, and they didn't even realize that inside of them they had rock stars, those 2 Jewish twins, and I brought it out of them over years of just fucking pulled. And that's what I'm saying, is that you set it up to a place, where you guys are you're the cool guys. So when people see you do it, it's amazing, for them to be like, oh, I can do this. So what was the moment when you decided like, well, we should probably do this as a gig? Because I mean, like you're saying, the rehearsals sound amazingly fun. And now that I was going to ask the question, what was your wife's reaction to you? I'm starting a band. But was there a reaction? But I think she was probably already prepped for it because
she was into it. She was into it for a while, and then when it got like, then we kept rehearsing, and then started to tour. She's like, okay. But at first she's like, great, get out of the house, go have a nice time.
Yeah.
But no, she's very supportive. And then David during COVID, put together, was shooting these like videos of songs and editing them together because he likes to drum. And so he kind of based it all around that. And then once sort of we were reaching a time when we can all start to see each other, we all got together in his garage, and we started just doing jam sessions, and I just sort of muscled my way into being the lead vocals because I would stay the whole time. But he would invite other people over, and people would come and go, but I would stay there from the minute we started until we finished because I just, I don't know, there's something very cathartic about it for me. It just feels really nice to sing.
Well, you said you came from theater, so that musical performance it's instant gratification. Whereas like you guys making the sketch shows, or acting, you're doing the show right now, Running Point. Like it's like you're doing certain things. By the way, I was going to ask, have you sang with Kate Hudson? Obviously, has probably jammed with you guys. I'm assuming, right?
No, I talked to her. I just talked to her when we were shooting this last season. And I was like, I showed her the band, and she's like, oh, I sing too. I'm like, yeah, I know you sing. And she goes, well, we should sing. We should do something, I go, would you like to come sing with the band? She goes, yeah, we should do like a duet. And then she just sent me like 3 Leather and Lace, and then like a bunch of things. She was like, we could do this song. We could do this song. We could do this song. And then, I reached out to her because she's like, we should do it and try to promote the second season of
Running Point.
Point. And so we were doing a session of putting a bunch of songs together, and I texted her. She's like, I'm in another country, so I can't do it. But she goes, I do want to do it with you. So hopefully, we'll get to do it. But we've done it. We've done it. I've done duets with Kristen Bell and Jackie Tone, and then Weird Al has come on and played accordion for like 2 or 3 songs, and Tia Carrera.
Oh yeah.
And sang Heartbreaker with the band, and that's out on YouTube. It's all out there.
Yeah, Tia did our TV show. She did Blitzkrieg Bop with Sam Richardson. Comedy Central ruined my TV show, ruined the goddamn Comedy Jam. I mean, they paid me a lot of money, but they just changed what was so special about it. That being said, though,
well, that just goes to my point of you get paid less money, you have more creative freedom, and that's usually the stuff that people like go, hey, I love that shit.
100%. Did Jackie, when Jackie did the Jam, she did Janis Joplin. That chick has a strong voice. I mean, if you could do Janis, like that's like, you know what I mean? That's like the highest level of like, especially the gravel. I mean, she fucking
Jackie Tone's voice is like, other level singing. And we did the duet with the Tom Petty duet, and she sings dun, 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 oh my God, what is it? I told you my memory's terrible.
By Tom Petty?
What the hell is it? Yeah, it's a Tom Petty. It's a duet with Tom Petty and
with the stop breaking my
heart. Stop dragging my heart. Stop dragging my heart around.
Yeah, dude, I saw Stevie Nicks do that with Billy Joel on mushrooms at SoFi with Bill Burr. We're talking about fucking, dude. Yeah, I can keep naming famous things. I was eating.
I keep naming different things I've seen on mushrooms.
I was eating a Dodger dog while I was like trying to find my AirPods. Just kept going.
It's unfortunate that there's not a band called The Mushrooms that you can go see on mushrooms.
Yeah, but I think there's they're called, yes, there is. They're called Fish. There's Fish or
sure.
The Dead. I mean, they're like, those are bands that are made. I mean, Billy Joel is not made for psychedelics. I'll take it there. And because the only bad thing is that you're in a room with everybody that looks like your mom and dad. You know what I mean? But besides that, it's the music. It's so positive. Like going to see Coldplay on mushrooms. Yes, it is literally musical Prozac. Going to see Wu-Tang Clan on mushrooms, not good. Because I felt like these black guys were mad at me and yelling at me for 2 hours. I'm like, I didn't do anything. I just got here. I'm sorry. Like, but that's the thing. It's like, you have to be very, like, I don't know. Like, have you ever taken mushrooms and gone to a concert?
No comment.
Okay. I'm gonna take that as a look at it. Was there an artist that maybe if you would have taken mushrooms and gone to see, you might have, like, if you thought about it?
Like I said, I have a bad memory.
Okay, good for you. All right, well, just the business. All right, back to Mr. Ray Charles. Back to
I'm sorry,
Mr.
I feel like it disappointed you.
No, God, no, dude. You don't gotta say it, dude. I know you're cool. Don't even trip. I know you're cool. You know what's funny? I'm getting ready to do the Hank Williams record on this podcast. It really is. It's funny how musical taste will change over the years when, and I think we grew up in slightly different eras, but still, it's like I never thought that I would be so in love with the Cole Porter musical songbook, and like the way I love Billy Joel, the way I love now, I'm really digging. This is a record, being able to dig into this record and digging into the Hank record and digging into Sam Cooke and all the stuff that's been coming up, some of the greatest recorded music. When I was a kid, if you would have been like, you would have put this on, I'd be like, this is lame. And maybe it's age, or maybe it is just being, you consume so much that you start hearing the influences and all the stuff that you love. It's crazy how deeply I connected, like, with this record, and just like how much it's, like I said before, it's just going to make its way into, like, as soon as this podcast is done, I'm going to put this record back on, because I found
I've been listening to it all week. It's great. Yeah. It's just it's an easy, fun, hooky, great. His voice is great. It's like the songs are fun. The songs are, it's just, and you can just keep going and going and going. But I think I don't know. It's probably partially your age, but it's also just like, as you get older, you start to realize, I've said I hated that thing for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
Because I never gave it a chance. And so, like, it's sort of like, it's like eating for me. Like, there are people, like, for a long time when I was growing up, I was like, I don't eat fish. I don't eat fish. It's fishy. And then, like, at a certain point, like, I think I got to college, and like, somebody's like, you don't have fish? You should order this fish. And I was like, all right, I'll order it. And I had a piece of fish when I tried it.
You loved it.
And it was the best taste I've ever had. And I was like, what the fuck? Why haven't I had fish before? But then I was also happy because I had never had fish before. And now I get to experience fish as a grown man, or a man in my 20s. I'm not even a grown man, but like as a man in my 20s. And I'm like, and now I have this whole world over that now. And how many other fish are there? Oh my God. And it's same with music. It's like, you just, if you open your heart up to different genres and different types of music, there's shitty versions of it, and then there's great versions of it. And if you can find the great versions, chances are you're going to appreciate and love, for different reasons, the great versions of all these different types of music.
Mm-hmm. I just love imagining you at a restaurant like, this is mahi? What the fuck?
Like, I couldn't, dude. I lost my mind.
Like,
I was like, why was I saying? But the same thing. So David and I were doing Wanderlust, right? And
dude, great. I mean, such an underrated film. I mean, on a level, you guys. So many of your movies, it's just like they're deep cuts for like, like like they're not the biggest, like, money makers when they come out, but dude, it's those fans, dude, the people, the real comedy fans, dude, went out and made everything. Wanderlust being one of them. That's like one of my favorite comedies, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you're welcome.
That. Well, we were doing Wanderlust, and as I said, I grew up on Long Island, so I was a Billy Joel guy, and I wasn't necessarily a Bruce Springsteen guy. I just didn't understand. I knew, I knew Born to Run and, like a couple of his songs, but I was like, I never went down that rabbit hole of Bruce Springsteen.
Same.
And then Mark Catone, who was the DP on Wanderlust, he's like, you don't know Bruce Springsteen. I'm gonna make a CD for you. And he made a CD of like 20 songs, and he's like, listen to this and then tell me what you think of Bruce Springsteen. And it was, eye-opening, and it was incredible. And it was like, and I was both bummed out that I didn't know about it earlier, and also celebrating the fact that I didn't know about it earlier, because now I get to.
You get it now, though.
I get it now.
Yeah, you get to, and you're ready for it now.
I get to appreciate it now at, like, whatever it was, 45 years old or however old I was. And I was like, and now I get to just swim in this for a while and not feel like it's something that I remember that song from back then. It's like new and fresh, and like I get to eat it up.
Yeah,
for the first time. It's incredible.
I get excited when I tell somebody they don't know something, and you're like, oh my God, like you get to watch Quick Change by Bill Murray's best movie for the first time. You know nothing about it. And it's a blessing. I mean, to be able to give somebody that and hope that they'll enjoy it as much as you. But like you said, sometimes people aren't ready. I wouldn't have been ready for this. I wouldn't have been ready for jazz when my dad schooled me on jazz. Dude, my favorite music is, like I said, is like that the Cole Porter, like Stardust by Nat King Cole. His version is my favorite song ever. I think it's the most beautiful song ever written. And I wouldn't, I was into I heard it when growing up, but it was my dad's stuff. And maybe that's why I love it as I got older, because it keeps me with that connection with him. But at the same time, it's like, no, it's just, you find it when you find it. And I mean, with as far as like this, with this record, it's if we would have done this at the beginning of the list, because this is like deep into my podcast now. I mean, we're about to break into the final 100. So we've been almost doing this. Thank you very much, dude. I've almost wanted to quit a million times. Thanks, Senator Al Franken, for keeping this going.
What did he do?
We were doing Grateful Dead. Dead, which album? Maybe it was like American Beauty. And I was on the verge of quitting because, Spotify had been paying us a lot of money, but then they dropped it, and because they had to give all the money to fucking Rogan. And they basically, it's not true, but it kind of is. But moral of the story was, I was just at a place. It's hard to go from no money and having fun to a lot of money and still having fun, and then no money again, and have to rebuild it. And I was like on the verge of quitting, and I was about to have a call with my producer, and he comes on for the episode. He goes, dude, what you're doing is so cool. And I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking about stopping. And he goes, you can't stop. He's like, you're already halfway done. He's like, that's pointless. Like, you can't, you got to keep going. You're going to be so proud of yourself when you finish. This is really cool. And then we did the episode, and it was so much fun. And then afterwards, I was out on the corner of 22nd and First Avenue, and I was going to get lunch before the conversation with my producer, and this guy was on his headphones, and he like looks over at me. He goes, oh my God, I'm listening to your podcast, the episode with John Stamos and Mike Love, the Beach Boys one. And I was like, oh, thanks, man. And I just look up at the heavens. I'm like, dude, I was like, God, you don't have to be so fucking obvious. You could just give me the signs gradually. It doesn't have to be Senator Al Franken and some Brooklyn, barista.
Wait, I missed what Al Franken did.
What he had done is, we were doing the podcast, and he started complimenting how great it was and had the idea. And he goes, dude, I was like, well, I'm thinking about quitting. And he goes, you can't stop. It's awesome. You're already halfway done.
Okay. He's the one who said
he was
that.
The guy that said that. Yeah. But yeah, dude, it was if I would have done this in the first few weeks, I don't know if I would have appreciated it the way, certain songs, I would have known, like, talking about some of the songs, like I would have known You Don't Know Me. Like I brought it up earlier. I remember the dance scene of it's not Mary Steenburgen, is it? Who is it? Who's a girl from Groundhog Day? Is it Mary Steenburgen?
No, it's
the other one.
They're all I can't remember anybody's name.
They're like five of the same white women.
Sex, Lies, and Videotape lady.
I love that you know that I know that movie, but God, I don't. I still say Mary Steenburgen.
No, we got to find it out, because I have a story about her.
Mary Louise Baker. Wait.
No, it's. Oh my God, I can't remember anybody's names. I've said her name thousands of times.
I got it.
Because I have a story about her.
You better fucking give it to me while I got it. You ready?
Yeah.
Andy McDowell.
Andy McDowell.
Okay,
Andy McDowell. So when I was right out of college, the state was happening in college, and then I graduated. I was a year older than Dave, and I were a year older. So when I graduated, I got a job at the Ritz-Carlton on right at the bottom of Central Park, and I worked I was a cocktail waiter at the Jockey Club, and in the Jockey Club, there was this famous bartender named Norman, and all these stars would come to see him. All these musicians would come to see him. They would be, Norm, how you doing, Norm? Never better, never better. And one time I called up Tom Lennon and Joe Latruglio, and I go, you guys got to get here, because sitting at the bar are all Jerry Garcia and like all of the Grateful Dead. They're just hanging out at the bar. So come in and I'll like try to get you guys just to sit down and like sit close to them at the bar.
Yeah.
But Andy McDowell was there one night, and she was with somebody, and she was ordering Louis the 14th. You know, it's like it's a very, very expensive brandy or something.
I think it's a whiskey, cognac. It's a cognac, but it's like
cognac.
Yeah, it's in that like $1 million bottle with the diamonds in the crust. Yeah, it's crazy.
And the Ritz-Carlton's thing was like, you could never say no. There's no problems, only opportunities. That's what they would say to you. Like when you work there, there's no problems, never opportunities. You're not allowed to say no to anybody. So she was ordering, she was with a friend, a guy, and they were drinking this Louis the 14th. And it was like, I don't know, like $400 a glass or some stupid thing like that. And I'm pouring it for them, and I had to bring it over to them and show them that I'm pouring it out of the bottle, and they drank 2 or 3, and then she left, and she had a great big bill and got a nice big tip. And then I get a call that now she's up in her room and she'd like me to bring it up to her room for another 2. And so I had to bring at the Ritz-Carlton, this Louis the 14th up to Andy McDowell's room and pour her in so she could see, and her and a friend, just to pour the Louis the 14th. And that's my Andy McDowell story. I don't know if it had a great ending. I didn't go up there and nothing crazy happened, but I remember her. I remember doing that, and I'm like, who would order alcohol that costs that much? It doesn't make any sense. I couldn't wrap my head around it.
She got that Sex Lives and Videotape money.
We had that Groundhog Day money.
Dude, the residuals on Groundhog Day? Come on, dude. Come on. She ain't getting a $1 paycheck like I get from SAG every 3 months. She's getting at least $5 a paycheck. Good for her. That's so great, man. That's so funny, the weird stories. I remember the two famous people I met in LA when I moved there at the Fred Siegel on Melrose at that little cafe. I've never seen two weirder people together. It was Paula Abdul and Vlade Divac. So you want to talk about that's the world, dude. That is the world. That's the world giving you a little nugget of it's like somehow you're gonna know Andy McDowell and beep boop bop, and then have you ever talked to her about that? You ever run into her again?
No, I've never run into her, but I did run into Paula Abdul at a Lakers game just recently, and she gave me a hug right outside the bathroom.
Really?
Yes. And I don't know if she knew who I was, but she was standing in front of me because we were at, I was at the fancy seats. And so we were in this like little area where you go and to the bathroom where the reporters are. And it's like this unisex bathroom. So we're waiting in line, and she's in front of me, and I'm like, oh, it's Paula Abdul. I can't believe it's Paula Abdul. And so she turned around and I said, I just got to say, I love you. I think you're great. And she's tiny, and she goes, oh, come here. And she gave me a big hug. And I was like, I got a hug from Paula Abdul at the Lakers urinal.
I bet she smelled. Well, the question was, I bet she smelled great, but then the next word that came out of your mouth was urinal.
No, her scent overpowered the urinal.
I bet she smells
her
amazing.
wonderful, beautiful scent overpowered the urinal.
I bet she wears amazing perfume. I bet Vlade Divac wore amazing cologne too. Did you pitch her?
That I don't know.
I mean, you didn't pitch her. I can know you didn't pitch her because you were just in shock that you got the hug. Who have you pitched? Have you been at a party and pitched somebody to do the jam band? Like, or what's been your Hail Mary pitch to get someone to sing?
No, I made the sweatiest pitch I made, and I wasn't that embarrassed about it. Was the one to Kate Hudson. I was just like, hey,
really? That's like your homie though.
I'm like, we're sitting. Well, no, I'm a guest on the show, but she's worked with Drew and Justin, who were all regulars on the show. So I felt like I wasn't overstepping, but maybe I was. I don't know. But she was very cool about it. But no, I don't.
Really, you don't pitch?
I
feel it. You gotta. I mean, because you do. It's not like you guys aren't not just, you guys as the band is now established because now you're touring, you're doing stuff, but as an actors and writers and producers, I mean, you guys are an entity that is a name. So it's like, you do have power when it's like, hey, fucking Usher, we we do this thing.
Well, it goes back to what I was saying when we were doing the state, which is I don't know where we fit in. I don't know what people think of us. I don't know.
Interesting.
Like I'm not presumptuous enough to think that like I mean something to somebody that I'm going to go over and talk to them and say, "Hey, come play with the band." Maybe I should be, but I don't. I just don't have that in me. You know, it has to come up organically for me.
Okay. All right. Well, speaking.
See, I let you down again.
No, you didn't. You didn't. You
didn't.
And
I feel like I'm breaking your heart.
Who'd you take mushrooms with? Who'd you take mushrooms with?
What you're talking about? I was never in Canada. Haven't been to Canada in years.
God damn it. All right. Well, here we're gonna do a couple songs. We'll do the final questions. We'll get you out of here. Man,
we got to talk about the movie. I want to plug the movie that Dave and I are doing. That's coming out.
I was gonna get to that, but I mean, no, but please plug away because how about this? This will be the question for You Don't Know Me. Is there's a movie that the audience might not know about coming up.
Oh.
Tell us about it.
Yes. Well, in fact, there is a movie that people might not know about. It's called Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass. And David Wain and I wrote it, and he directed it. And it's got Zoey Deutch and Jon Hamm and John Slattery and Ben Wong and Joe Latrulio and Miles Riley is in it, and Sabrina Impacciatore, and I'm in it, and a bunch of the state people are in it. Tom Lennon, Kerry Kenny, and it's coming out in theaters July 10th, and it's called Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass. Or I'll just say it's coming out, and you'll see it in theaters first, and then it'll be. I think it goes to Netflix.
Ooh, I love it. I mean, it's you never like you and David, like you work together so much. Like, you know, do you guys ever get tired of one another? Like, do you ever get just like, you see him on set, you're just like, God damn it. Because you can't, David, like, you guys are so close that like, I hate all my best friends.
David and I met each other the first day of college. I met David and I met Craig Wedren, who is a musician who was in a band called Shudder to Think that you may know.
Oh, yeah.
They were a band from the 90s, and they were big in DC, band out of DC, and they're doing a new album right now. And Craig and David and I have been tight since our first day of college. And Craig scores all our movies and writes all the songs for any movie that David does separately, or any movie that I do separately, or that we do together. Or for the most part, he's done most of the music. And but that's a long-winded way of saying, do we ever get annoyed by each other? Yeah. David and I do.
Yeah, I like I said, it's like all of my best friends, I love them more than anybody. I hate them as well. It's like, you can't.
Yeah. We're brothers. And so we fight like brothers. But we know that deep down we love each other and we are there for each other, and we have a special bond that's lasted decades. Same with Craig, and that will never go away. Same with all the state people. Like we just have this bond that I recognize how lucky we are to have it. And how beautiful it is.
I mean, every single person that's been a part of the state is like, everybody has gone on to have a career of their own. I mean, it's really impressive. Whereas some of the other sketch groups, you know, of that era, where it's like some others blew up bigger, and that, you know, obviously some people are doing this, there's people doing that, and it's more people work than others. But it's like every single one of you guys has carved out a niche in this industry, which is so hard to do, and the longevity. I mean,
I don't understand it.
It's because you guys were like the Avengers of comedy, man. And it was really the right people at the right place at the right. It's the right dude. It's really the right time, man. Because if you come out in the 2000s or whatever, I don't know if it's the same. It's like it was that Gen X coming off the reality bites, all that shit, like the music, the grunge, the pro, like, you know, dude, Carrie's in a fucking band that's badass. Like everybody is a part of something that's so cool. It is, I'm telling you, man, it's Gen Gen X, we fucking rule. I don't care what anybody says. The millennials can suck it. We're at least most of us at least have a fighting chance to own a home. We got the best music, the best movies. We got
That's
everything.
true.
We didn't have internet during our awkward years, but or camera phones when, dude, you know what I mean? It's like, dude,
It was good timing.
Great timing, dude. I mean, what would be the equivalent of that in maybe like in the 1800s? What being like, dude, the Industrial Revolution group, we were the best. You know what I mean? We were there for the thing with the Rockefellers. Yeah, dude. You know what song I don't, because there's so many songs on this record. I want to only talk about two more things and we'll do final questions, because I feel like we hit the meat and potatoes of what's important about this album, which is the groundbreakingness of it. It's like really, like we said, and I think that's amazing, is the song that I will take from this record. And I don't want you to tell me your favorite one yet, because we do that at the end. This might be now in my top 10 songs that I've found from this podcast. It's a little song, track 4. I Love You So Much It Hurts. It is one of the album's probably purest country songs. And the way that Ray sings it, it's with like an almost painful sincerity. It's if you, because there's so many songs to digest on this, Ken. So if you're not as familiar with that one, because it's like I could see I
wanna can I play it real quick?
Oh my God, please. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a beautiful song.
Oh, just wait. Just wait. Here it comes.
Oh, I love you so much. It hurts me, darling. That's why,
dude,
I'm so blue. I'm so afraid to go to bed.
Yeah, dude.
I'm afraid of losing you.
Dude.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good.
It's the arrangements, Ken. It's what is so perfect about and important about this record is whoever. I want to find out who did the orchestrations on this, because you really got to give this guy the shout out that it deserves.
That's one of the things it got critiqued for too, though. It was like there's too much background singing and too much. And I'm like, and when I listen to it, I'm like, no, it's perfect.
Dude, so what I have right here is Gil Fuller and Gerald Wilson, the arrangements for the big band. So that's half the record. It was Marty, I want to fuck his name up, Marty Paich, Paich. Yeah, dude. I mean, how can you listen to that in the 60s and be like, nah, dude, that is, I want more of that. I want to live in that little like,
But that's the thing. That's why it's special, because he brought so much beautiful soul to what could have been sung pretty straightforward, and what had been sung pretty straightforward. I mean, he bends all these notes, and he does his Ray Charles. He gets his Ray Charles all over these songs, and it's like, and it's fucking amazing.
It is a song that when this is all said and done, the podcast is done, this is a song that I will listen to for the rest of my life. But I loved the idea of I Love You So Much It Hurts. And you've done so many incredible projects. What was a project that you loved so much physically that it hurt when it ended? Or has it still not ended yet?
No, there's two that, I mean, well, there's so many. I've been very lucky, again, going back to, the shows that were the most special were the ones that were under the radar and were not like big breadwinners, but they were creatively incredibly satisfying. One of them was Burning Love, which I did with my wife, which was this satire of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, and it had this incredible cast, and we did it for nothing, but it's just jokes per minute are crazy, and it's just so funny, and I'm so proud of it. And I got to do it with my wife, who created it, and I directed it, and I'm in it. But then Party Down was a show that was so special to me, and it's such a fun character to play that I miss playing Ron Donald. But then there's like shows like I just did a show called The Other Two that was on HBO. That was a fun character. I get to play this character named Streeter, and and that the creators of that show, the heart and the amount of jokes in that were so good, and I just wish we got to do more seasons of that, and that went away too early, I think. I mean, I've been lucky at Children's Hospital,
lucky. And your IMDb is just so it's just so fire. Like you should be proud of so much stuff, big and small. It's just like everything that you've worked on looks like it was fun to work on, and I think. And even the jam band, dude, it's like every project, everything you're doing is just fun. And that's for me, you have to make it fun, right? Yeah. Because then it becomes infectious, and then everybody else kind of feels the same way. And then when you're watching it, I think you can feel that through the screen. Like you see when people are having a good time, you know? I mean, it could still be professional and it's still, good quality, but like you also want to have a good time doing it. Otherwise, what's the point? I mean, I always say this thing about when it's comics, like if I show up at a show and there's somebody on the bill with me, I'm like, oh yes. Like I not just get to watch him. I just get to like riff off stage and just like hang with, and besides whether it's the State or the Wet Hot People or whoever. And I know this is a good, you didn't answer the mushroom questions. I don't know if you're going to answer this one, but is there somebody that you see off when you're like, oh, sweet, we're on a thing together? It's like, I know one, I got somebody to talk to, and two, it's like, we're going to fucking have a blast.
Well, I will say that there are people who, when you meet people and you're like, you start talking to them and you're like, I don't know you, but I'm talking to you as if we've been friends for 30 years.
Yeah.
And then there are other times when you meet people that you respect and you like, and it just doesn't click, and like you're working to kind of work around it. So when I see certain people that I had that thing happens that makes me funnier and makes my mind work on all cylinders. I get excited. And one of those people is this actor, Josh Molina, who he was on West Wing and he was on many shows. But anytime I see Josh Molina, I'm like so happy to be in the same room with him, to hang out with him, to talk with him. Anytime I see Richard Kind, I'm I get to do something with Richard Kind. You know what I mean? Another just person that I've crossed paths with, and then whenever I see him or I get to work with him, I'm like, well, this is just lucky. I think Steven Weber is just like a super funny, good guy.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I get all my State people, like, so anytime I get to work with Joe or Tom or, Mike Black or, anybody like that is just a gift.
Who broke
Catherine
you the most?
Hahn.
Oh, everybody you're naming are like, I mean, I don't even know how you could do a scene with someone like Richard Kind without breaking. I mean, it's just, you're dealing with some of the funniest people. Who is the person that breaks you the most?
Oh, Danny McBride.
Oh, yeah.
Danny McBride is I got to do the 4th season of Eastbound and Down, and working with Danny McBride was to get to do scenes with Danny McBride was like a little, like check that off the list, because that dude makes me laugh. Whatever he says makes me laugh.
What's so great about the people that you work with, and especially now have been in comedy for almost 18 years, it's like when you surround yourself with funny people, it rubs off on you, and you learn and see so much. I mean, you have literally had one of the best comedic educations. Like, you have gone to not just like the actual schools that you went to, but just the people that you've worked with, and I know it. And I know you're appreciative. Like, you've said it so many times. So I know you believe it. It's just like, not just how lucky, but it's like you were funny probably when you were 19, 20. You now, with all the people that the amalgamation of riffing that you've done and people you've worked with, like, dude, you're like, dude, if you were in Scientology, you'd be like full level 8 Xenu. You'd be all the way fucking up there. They'd open up the book and be like, dude, we told you it was a scam. See, now you know. All right.
Well, hopefully I'll get to meet my comedy alien friends soon.
Dude, I can't thank you enough for coming on. Let's do the final question to get you out of here, bro. But please, we have 100 great records. I promise you. Please do it again, and please know that I'll be on time. I was only late by a couple minutes, everybody. I'm so sorry. I literally just woke up. I've been traveling so much. But I woke up. I didn't shower. I didn't do my normal routine. I ran to get coffee and came back here because I was like, "There's no fucking way I'm gonna ruin this day," because I was so excited. So. Before we do final questions, promote the movie one more time, and we'll promote it at the beginning and end. It looks hilarious, dude. But go ahead.
Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass is a movie that David Wain and I wrote. He directed. It's coming out July 10th in theaters. Please go see it. It's ridiculous. It's stupid in the best way. And if you like our movies, I think you'll appreciate this one.
You'll love it, everybody. You guys are pretty consistent. I don't think you don't have any misses, man. You have no misses. That's pretty good,
man.
You are Barry Bonds Balco. Steroid.
We put our blood, sweat, and tears into it.
Great band too, by the way. You make me
band.
so very happy. Is that them?
I think so.
I
could be wrong.
We actually had the drummer on the podcast. That's a different story. All right, final questions. We ask everybody these. Favorite song on this record, Ken? What do you got?
There's a slow one, and then there's two upbeat ones that I just enjoy very much. Born to Lose is, I think, one of my favorite songs to listen to. I just think it's sort of perfect. And then Bye Bye Love and You Are My Sunshine. I have a good time with those because I just, like I'm about to do it, but I love how, Holler sleeping.
Oh, man. It's crazy that this is country. That this is like that Ray was able to do this with that.
So You Are My Sunshine, My Only Sunshine.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy, dude. That's crazy when you realize that's like a children's song.
Right, and he
turned this into like a swinging, like.
Shine away.
You know what I love? You know what I love, Ken? You know what I love about bands of artists like about Ray and even when I did Depeche Mode, this is his 18th record. This isn't like early on or even this is like, I mean, he's still doing, I'm about to do another fucking longer, way more like stuff after this, but it's like they constantly are changing to try to find something different because they're like,
do you think it came from boredom? Do you think it came from like, I mean, I know how to do this shit. Let me do, I don't know. Let me try. Let me reinvent country.
I think that's an interesting take for sure. And I think when you're a musical genius, because that word is, it's being thrown around, but I feel like
it works for Ray Charles.
I think it's apt for Ray. Yeah, no, I think it does. And I think at a certain point, it's like, well, I've done this. What's next? What else can I do? I'm getting a little bored with this. And I definitely think, he grew up. I should have like double checked that math. And he grew up in Georgia. So he is from the South. So country music's there. So this is music he had been hearing his whole life. So I think this is his respect kind of like, this is what I grew up listening to, even though I wasn't supposed to dig this shit. I did, but I'm going to put my spin on it. Or
this is how I heard it the whole time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like in my head, the song I'm hearing, this is how it's filtering through my head. And so now I'm going to present it to you because this is what was how it was feeding me, you know?
Yeah. But also think about it from this angle. What if, and we don't know, but what if this is his like fuck you to the people he grew up with, being like I'm gonna take all that shit that you guys that I wasn't supposed to listen to and blah 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 that was so segregated to you, and I'm gonna make it. And I don't know, but sometimes wait, no, I'm not. It's a different angle. I'm just saying it's a different angle. But dude, but there's also that like that thing of like, dude, it was that whole story of Frank Sinatra where they go, hey, he goes, I can make anything a #1 hit. And he goes, really, you can make anything? And he goes, yeah. And he go, all right, make Old MacDonald, and he does.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that Ray had that like, that chip on his shoulder, but dude, we don't know what that's like to be a black guy that grew up in Albany, Georgia, born in 1930, that is blind, that was told he couldn't do shit, that everybody ripped him off. He had to be paid in ones throughout. He had to fight his record companies. Like, dude, like just like his career, you're like, holy shit, this guy like was up against so much shit and just kept. Not just it's that Rocky shit. It's not how many punches you could take. It's how many you could take.
How many times you get back up.
Get back up. And how many it's not like how many soul songs you could do. It's how many country songs you could take and convert it to soul and make #1 hits. I think I'm not saying that he had that, but dude, you never know what the intention was. I would like to believe it's a little bit of column A and column B, that he loves it, he respects it, and he knew that it would. He goes, these are beautiful songs, white or black. It doesn't make a fucking difference. And I'm going to show these white people because, dude, the shit's bad now. It was really bad back then. Still bad now, but it was really bad. So for him to do that, let's say it's 70%, 80%. I love the music from my past, 20% being like, fuck you guys. Check what
watch this.
Mm-hmm. I like that. And I think he has it because you have to have that to be great. You don't realize it, but you and David and all you guys, even though you kept saying we're just having fun, there is a little bit of like, well, you guys keep doubting us and we keep making cool shit and people keep loving it. And it keeps making you studio guys money. You know what I mean? But I'm not saying, listen, you don't have to say it. You don't say anything. I'll say it. You don't get in trouble. He's not saying this, everybody. I'm saying this.
I didn't say
make great things. Make great things. When people doubt you, it's like, all right, cool. Keep doubting. I'm the herpes of comedy, dude. I'm never going away. I'll pop up every once in a while.
Maybe there's some bit of that, but I think it's mostly like, this is what we know and this is what we love. And so we're going to do it. And hopefully you'll enjoy it because that's all we know.
I know. That's the perfect answer. I know the real answer. I know the fire. There's a fire burning inside you.
A deep fire.
You just have a Florence and the Machine song inside of you, just like. All right. Is there anything on this record that you skipped over? I don't think this is a skippable record. I'm not saying I loved every song as much but no. Was there anything or anything that stuck out that you're like, meh?
No,
really isn't.
I mean, no. You listen to it. It's just so you let it wash over you. Yeah. I mean, there are the hits, there are the great ones, and then there are ones that are just like, just make you feel good, and you listen to it, and then you're done. I don't know. I don't.
I agree.
No, you don't. No, you don't touch this album.
It's a longy, meaning it is a longer record, but it really.
Yeah, I know what longy means.
I'm just making sure, dude. I speak.
Your viewers might not know what longy is.
No, they know. Oh, trust me.
Oh well, they've listened to like 400 shows. They don't know longy at this point. Anyway, it's a longy, guys.
It's a longy, but it's a strongy.
It's a strongy, which means
I don't gotta explain that. Everybody knows. Everybody knows what a strongy is. Longy is a little different. But that's the thing is, so sometimes you get these like double records, and you're like, it's not. This isn't Use Your Illusion by Guns N' Roses, which I love Guns N' Roses, but it's like, dude, you could cut like 1/3 of the songs and made it one great record. The version I listened to, regardless if you guys all listen to that or not, I listened to the double run on Dark Lord Spotify, and there was not one song on it that I felt like needed to be skipped over. I enjoyed every single morsel of it. So maybe on a few more listens, I go, all right, I'll skip over. I always say the ones that you skip over sometimes are the ones that you've heard too much, which could be the most popular songs on there. Doesn't mean they're the worst. But after a while, I don't need to hear You Don't Know Me anymore. I've heard it 1 trillion times prior. Do you see what I'm
saying? I know exactly what you're saying. I followed you the whole time.
Longy and strongy. Perfect. Thank you. All right. Now, Please answer this one. Everybody does. Even
there's another. Okay, there's another question.
There's two more. There's two more
I
questions.
just relaxed. I thought my sphincter all like settled in. And
keep your sphincter settled, because this is this is a strongie.
Okay, we're back.
This is not a longie, but it's a strongie.
Okay.
Can you fuck to this record? I was hoping you'd spit take it right there. Like what? No comment.
I have 2 children on this while listening to this. Yeah, no, you can. I mean, you can, but I would recommend, maybe a little Marvin Gaye instead.
You really don't think that this is I think this is a very fuckable record. I think that this is a record that at the time, I bet you a lot.
Right out of the gate.
Hey,
what are we doing?
You come in naked. Like,
hold on.
It's like the beginning of the old Tonight Show. Just like, hey.
You're saying goodnight to your clothes.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, maybe skip the first one.
All right, let's see.
Track 2.
Oh, baby. Get over here.
Yeah, dude. Mm-hmm.
Get over here.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, did I leave the stove on? Oh, yeah.
I think you can. Yeah. Then I love you so much it hurts. Yeah, dude. I love that you think at this point you can make it this long. No, you're already 2, 5.
I was done at 5 by love.
You were 2, 5, 8 minutes. Come on, dude. I mean, maybe you don't start with Bye Bye Love. You go right into You Don't Know Me. You cramp up around.
So now I got to make a list.
You got one of those Theraguns? My leg keeps cramping up. Oh, Jesus. And then you get it. I Love You So Much. And then you got, dude, I think this is a very fuckable record.
I mean, I can't fight you on that. That's true.
Dude, holy shit. I listened to way more songs than I was supposed to. This is only 12 songs. I listened to like 40. Dude, I literally listened to like a 45 song record. Oh, man. All right.
I have.
Right.
There's a lot, but 24. There's a 24 song. The 2 discs, the original 2 discs are volume 1 and volume 2.
I'm glad I listened to the Longie one. The Longie, it was, guess what it was? It was a strongie.
Longie.
It was a Longie, but it was a strongie. All right, to wrap this all up, Kenny, how would you get someone to listen to this record that's never heard it before, or just like your elevator pitch, or your final thoughts of when it comes to this record, however you want to like sum it up of why it's important, why we're talking about, to someone that might not know, or to someone that know, or a blanket statement. I just like.
Oh, you like that Beyonce album where she did the country songs? You should listen to the original. The guy who did it. Back in 1962, and he happens to be named Ray Charles. So he's already incredible. Watch what he does to these country songs.
I love that.
Here,
it's
wrapped up. I got a double. I made it, and there's a little bow on it.
Perfect bow. I would say, I say this, and especially from doing this podcast for goddamn 8 years now, and the artists that I am drawn to are the ones that are in their own lane. They do their own thing. Prince. I think Prince is the Beethoven of our generation. He did and people would look at him and say, "You're a little black guy wearing like female clothes, doing rock and roll, like from Minnesota." It just sometimes it doesn't make sense. And I think this record is one of those albums that permanently ruins the phrase "you can't do that." And I think when you take a black blind soul singer and who makes a country record during segregation and convinces millions of people to buy it. And he accidentally creates one of the greatest crossover records ever recorded. I mean, it's basically he gerrymandered and redrew the districts of the entire United States. He really did. And I know that everybody said it was a terrible idea. And he did that thing. That's like, man, you can say whatever you want, but we're going to have fun. I got a good group assembled. I believe in these guys. I believe in myself, and I don't give a fuck if you guys like it. I got to do it. And I think, you were the perfect guest to have it on, because everything you've done has been, probably, especially that early on stuff, man, is just like, here's some money, but we don't know if it's going to go anywhere. And it just keeps going somewhere, and I continue to keep watching, and I will until the end of time. And hopefully I get to jam with you guys, because
that'd be great. We'd love to have you.
I'd be good. Ken, thank you so much for coming on, man. This was such a blast. Please come back. Everybody, what was it? July, what is it for Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass?
July 10th, Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass coming out in theaters near you.
Go see it. Bootleg it with the camera. Put it on. Sell it. Do whatever you got to do.
No, don't do that.
Don't do any of that. Don't do any of that.
No, don't do any of that. Just go see the movie.
Go see the movie and support our boy Ken. Dude, thank you, brother, for coming on. This was so much fun.
Absolute pleasure, man.
What did I tell you? The one and only Ken Marino. Follow him on Instagram at Ken Marino. Check out Gail Daughtry and the Celebrity Sex Pass. It's out on theaters July 10th with Ken and the incredible David Wain. Just support him, support us, do the whole dance that we've been doing. It's a gift to have these guys on. So thank you so much for coming on, Ken. Now, we just listened to MSICAWM by Ray Charles. For new music pick this week, our proud sponsor, DistroKid, has brought Tipsy by Shabuzi. You can find links to the music on our website, the500podcast.com. And if you were directly influenced by one of these albums or artists and you want your music featured on the 500, send us your song to 500podcast@gmail.com and put the album and artist influence you in the subject line. Next week, it is James Taylor week as we dig into Sweet Baby James, produced by Peter Asher, who hated me and then loved me, and then I think he kind of hates me again. Either way, dig the music, dig the homework. We'll see you next week.